This playthrough is rated T for teen.
Greetings and salutation, viewers. Vauldemare back here with a bonus episode of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Last time we played, we finished the game, and Spider-Man was known to all to be the hero of New York City. For the most part. The task force is still around, and Kingpin didn't get thrown in jail.
I've been spending so much time as Spider-Man, I feel naked without the mask on. Man,
well, maybe
I'm gonna need so much therapy.
You will. But anyway, let's clean up a bit of what we didn't cover in the official game. First, let's go to the outfits. Today, there's not going to be any action exploring around. It's just me playing the audio and showing you what you can unlock in the game for those who care about that. Let's start at the beginning. I know I've read these off before, but let's do it again. So, first suit is the Vigilante. I believe you just get this from playing. Memories. My first costume. I guess I could put it on again for old time's sakes. First appeared in the Amazing Spider-Man film. Yeah, I don't know why they just didn't use one of the comic book versions of it, but it's okay. I did like the idea of costumes actually having different stats. So, like in previous games where you just wore them just because you just wanted to wear them, which was fine too. I like the idea that some suits would give you better stats in certain areas than others. Too bad it wasn't utilized as well as it could have been, but in the game. But oh, a nice effort for the most part. The Amazing Spider-Man 2012 first appeared in the Amazing Spider-Man film 2012. My first real Spidey costume, all sewn back together after a lot of wear. Good as new. Still kind of smells like all the time I spent in the sewers fighting the lizard and chasing down cross-species monstrosities, though. Ew. Although in the previous game, that took place after the movie, so we mainly chased... Actually, no, wait, the lizard was in the game, wasn't he? He, escaped from prison, and we helped him out in that one. Never mind. It's been a while since I played that one. Amazing Spider-Man 2024. Gwen made me this costume after my previous one was pretty much torn to shreds after a too close encounter with a turbine. Long story. Anyway, my best look ever, if I do say so myself. Well, it's classic, I'll admit, but I think he's had better. First appeared the Amazing Spider-Man 2 film. That's based off the classic outfits. I don't know if I'd even call it first appeared on that. You know what I mean? Story told. Infinite Comics, the Amazing Spider-Man #1 digital comics, which I think had to get from Marvel's comic service. I forgot what it's called though. Superior Spider-Man. Obviously we've read this before, but I'm just going over the purposes. Not sure what I was thinking with this one. It looks like what an evil genius would design if he switched brains with me and tried to prove that he could be a superior Spider-Man. Actually, probably add weird tentacles that come out of the back too. I didn't go that far. Superior Spider-Man #15, the one where Doc Ock switches bodies with Peter, and then Doc Ock's body dies, and I forgot how Peter gets his body back. It's convoluted. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. The comic stand has a bunch of weird Spider-Man comics, but I think Ultimate Comics Spider-Man is my favorite. Not only does Spidey's costume look great in it, but the writers even go as far as to identify me as a kid named Miles Morales who lives in Brooklyn. Way off, but in some ways not. When I found Oscorp tech that looked a lot like the costume they designed it just for the comic, I figured, hey, why don't I make it my own? But yeah, this is Miles Morales' suit that he basically forms himself after Peter dies in the Ultimate series. First appeared Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #1, 2011, cover only. First worn Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #5, 2012. Man, that's kind of a mouthful when you think about it. Yeah, Miles Morales has become really popular in the community, especially, and he's actually I think he's been turned into continuity. He's not the Spider-Man, but he's one of Spider-Man, or on main Earth now, because Ultimate's universe got destroyed. Although recently they're going through they're doing a crossover, Rebirth series or whatever on Marvel, so I'm not sure what's up with that, but anyway. Big time. Oscorp tech I was able to put into the suit straight up looks like something Max Modell at Horizon Labs would produce. Maybe after I graduate ESU, I'll hit the big time and get to work there. Until then, I'll just appreciate the extra dose of stealth I get in these duds. First appeared The Amazing Spider-Man #650. Scarlet Spider. So there's a Spidey comic in Stan's shop that isn't really even a Spidey comic. Its whole premise isn't even about Spider-Man, but rather some formerly evil clone of mine who seeked redemption for his sins in Houston as the Scarlet Spider. So weird. Looks cool though. And the Oscorp tech I acquired just happens to adapt the look of it. Yeah, the Scarlet Spider is based off of first appeared Scarlet Spider #1, 2012, cover only. First worn by the Scarlet Spider #2, 2012. Except the idea of the Scarlet Spider has been around for quite a while. I think back in the 80s or something like that. There's this whole ring of comics called the Clone Saga, which was basically just a whole arc of Spider comics about how Peter Parker had been cloned a long time ago, and they tried to do a story about how maybe the person we were playing for the whole time wasn't the original Peter Parker, and this kid called Ben Reilly actually was, and Peter stole his identity without realizing, and all this other stuff. Interesting idea, but wasn't executed very well. But anyway, after the end of it, Peter retired for a bit and let Ben Reilly go at it for a while, and then after some point, people got annoyed that Peter wasn't Spider-Man anymore, but so they had Ben go off, be his own thing as a Scarlet Spider, and had Peter go back as being Spider-Man. So there you go, wrapped up in a nice shell, 'cause comics. Spider-Man 2099. Thanks for the experimental unstable molecules, Oscorp. But I've got to say, this design looks something like a lucha wrestler would be wearing at the end of the century. Feels a little out of place in this day and age, but look what I normally wear. Who am I kidding? First appeared Spider-Man 2099 in 1992. Based off Miguel O'Hara. Yes, the 2099 Spider-Man. One of the few comics to last longer than some of the other 2099 series like Hulk, Doctor Doom. There's a few others, but I think Wolverine got one too, or something like, or X-Men did. Anyway, flip side. I could swear it's like Oscorp was trying to create an Android version of me with this tech. Now that I've gutted all the robotic parts, it fits like a glove. Really accentuates my six-pack too. Spider-Man 2099, number 29, 1995. Basically evil robotic Spider-Man made to try to take out Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man. Spider armor. Actually, I really like the look of this armor. Gotta say, the Oscorp tech in this suit is sweet. Practically bulletproof. Practically. First appeared The Amazing Spider-Man, number 656, 2011. I'm not familiar with the originality of this, so this is one of the few suits I don't know, but I like the look of it. The Hornet. I think you get this from completing all the races. This one's straight out of a Halloween store. But who wouldn't want to dress like the sensational Hornet when they fight crime? I've only been a fan of this comic since, like, forever. It's got even better when he joined the Slingers. Too bad the costume wings don't work. I'll settle for good old web slinging. First appeared The Sensational Spider-Man, number 27, 1998. I'm not familiar with this suit at all, so if anyone is, I guess just Google it, I guess, or something, or look it up. I don't want to support Google. Just look it up on your favorite browser. Ricochet. God, this is one. I like the idea of Ricochet, but good lord, the white does not work. And I like the where they're going for it. It's supposed to be like a 50s greaser, but I don't know. Just the white and gray. I don't know. It just feels off. Anyway, Ricochet. People say Spider-Man is amazing. This guy is amazing. Been reading The Amazing Ricochet. Yeah, I think it's Ricochet. Since they started in 1998. When I found this jacket with the perfect R on its back at a thrift store, I couldn't help but put the rest of the costume together. Maybe I'll adopt the persona myself if I'm ever having an identity crisis. First appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man, number 434, 1998. I have no idea, like, the idea of Ricochet comes from and all that. Anyway, I think that's the final one. Yeah, in the final suit, Spider Carnage. You get this from beating the game. Good lord, that's creepy. Look at that mouth. Did I get a little too close to Cletus Cassidy at Ravencroft? I mean, I suddenly feel like, oh my god, no, 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 no! Yes! I am reborn in blood and agony. I am remade into the bringer of death and destruction. Chaos is my only love, and Carnage is my name. So this is what their version of Carnage would have looked like if they ever did in the movies. First appeared The Amazing Spider-Man, number 410, 1996, which led to the whole Maximum Carnage series, which is where basically Venom symbiote spawned off a little kid symbiote, jumped onto Cletus Cassidy, came around causing chaos, killing people and all that, and Venom and Spider-Man had to work together with the help of Reed Richards and a couple other characters to take him down. Good series of comics, I think. Made the symbiotes really popular. Actually, Carnage was made because Venom was so popular, but yeah, when they were in doubt, they always made a new symbiote. So anyway, now that we're done with the suits, before we end today's episode, let's go over all the messages. I found every single message that you can find in the city. Basically just had to comb the desert of the city to find it. There's plenty of maps online you can look if you're having trouble finding, if you just want to look for the specific audio clips if you're interested. But, I mean, I don't know if this game is worth all that, but, you know. Alright, let's see if we can... Let's see. I want to, like... There's quite a few, by the way, so let's see. Okay, that one's green. That one's green. Green. Well, let's go with this one and go up. I think I've already read this one, but we'll just do it for...
Interesting theory, Doc. I never had a real family that cared about me, so I'm trying to make my own. I think you're whacked in the head, but hey, who am I to judge? It's a nice idea. A dozen more like me, a bond stronger than blood. Imagine all the wonderful things we could do together. We could spread the truth, watch the family grow, pull back the curtain and show the world that rich vein of red just underneath.
I might... I know this is the final one. I think I've got a few after this below still I need to look at as well. But anyway, let's do this
The
one.
voice in my head, it's still there. You don't believe it's real, do you? But you injected me with something special, something that made me stronger. Why don't you think it might be alive in its own way? I could show you. It grows like a baby. If you want, I could give you part of it, so you've got your own. No? Okay, fine. Suit yourself. Just remember, I gave you a chance.
This is probably when they gave him the symbiote. Yeah, I think a couple of these down here also unlocked messages, because at some point I think it stops recognizing that you got a green symbol for your messages that I've collected. So let's just do
Mencken
this
to
one.
senior agents. I am growing concerned about Mr. Osborn's mental state. He is exhibiting angry outbursts, paranoia, and secretiveness. While I do hope it will not come to this, I feel it is time to explore our options should a change in leadership prove necessary. Make sure you record and bring to my attention any behavior that can be used as evidence pertaining to Mr. Osborn's lack of fitness for his position.
Alright. This is out of order.
How did I get back into the city? That transformer must have overloaded and I got out. Escaped into the power lines and came out here. But why can't I remember? Mencken was there. Made me breathe gas. Made it dark again. No! It doesn't matter. I'm free. They'll never lock me up again. Spider-Man, the police, the doctors. I'll die before I let them hurt me again. Or they'll die. I like that better.
Sounds like Max Dillon got out at the end of the story, apparently. Okay, so we got a couple of these DeWitt articles too. Okay, just making sure I hit all the green before I start. Yeah, there's quite a few of these. Look at that. Okay, so I should have just started after the Ravencroft stuff. All right, let's start working on this.
How do I feel? Great. I don't know what you injected me with, Doc, but you should bottle and sell it because I've never been better. And I know you're gonna say this is crazy Cassidy talking, but I swear I can hear whatever it is inside me, in my head. What does it say? It says, we're in this together. It says, it'll look out for me. We'll be inseparable. Like best friends. Or family.
Mencken to all agents. I've lost contact with the men watching Harry Osborn and am receiving reports of alarms at Oscorp. Notify the police immediately. Also, forward them whatever data we have concerning Mr. Osborn's deteriorating state of mind. I believe he is a danger to himself and others. We have done all we can to protect him. We must now think of the bigger picture. The survival of Oscorp itself.
This is probably when Harry started going bonkers and disappeared.
Mencken to Ravencroft agents. Evacuate immediately. Cletus Cassidy has escaped. He has been altered by the Venom Serum and is extremely dangerous. Do not take time to scrub evidence of experiments in the Venom Wing. Exit Ravencroft and lock it down as soon as possible. Frankly, gentlemen, I do not see how Oscorp can survive today's events. This will be my final communication. Should you be lucky enough to survive, you are on your own.
Well, that's because Chameleon was going to stop playing the part after all this crap was over.
I should be celebrating. Between us, Spider-Man, and the task force, we're scoring win after win. The Hood, Mr. Negative, Hammerhead, Herman Schultz, the Russian mob, Silvermane, the Big Man, the Crime Master, all crushed. The bosses are in jail and their men are on the run. So why can't I shake the feeling that something a lot worse is going to take their place? Maybe because it always does.
Why can't we take out all these other dudes in the game? Come on! I want to fight all these other villains, and yet they get caught off screen. That could have easily been a whole set of side quests we could have done. I feel like they were rushed when making this game, so I guess I can't blame them too much.
I keep hearing about this new crime lord, the Kingpin, consolidating what's left of the other boss's mobs. But no one seems to have met him in person or knows his real name. He's either really smart, or he scares the hell out of people. Or both. He's playing with fire trying to get criminals who were shooting at each other a few days ago to work together. But if he can pull it off, he'll be the most powerful gangster New York's ever seen.
Ever seen? He'll be a powerful gangster. Yeah, talking about Kingpin doing his stuff. Alright, let's do Felicia's Hardies. Let's see. Most of her stuff's probably going to be slightly out of order, but oh well, whatever.
The Kingpin has friends in high places. I'm getting a lot of pressure to stop looking into him, and an offer to work in corporate security at Horizon Labs with a big raise. If the Kingpin's got this much influence, part of me wants to bring him down more than ever. But another part of me thinks I should take the job, because his next move won't be as nice. And if his reach is as long as it seems, there's no way I can stop him.
Oh, by the way, I have no idea who Jean DeWolf is, like who her character is. Maybe she's the one important in the comics. I'm not familiar with her. Maybe they just made her up for the game.
I've been watching the Spider for a while now. He's gotten better at fighting and hunting. Like someone's been training him. But really, he hasn't changed. Still playing the Boy Scout. Grabbing up purse snatchers and letting the world beat him up instead of using his power to get the life he deserves. No different than the sucker who punches a clock each day to make his boss rich. There's no helping guys like that. He deserves what he gets.
You can tell Felicia changes over the course of her tapes, because, yeah, she thinks like this, and at some point she thinks completely differently, especially with 8 right here, you know.
I've done it now. That was either my Declaration of Independence or a death sentence. Or both. The Kingpin's gonna have a contract out on me in no time. The smart move would be to get out of town. Hop a plane to someplace sunny and tropical, with umbrellas in the drinks and rich tourists with fat pockets to pick. He'll be distracted with Spider-Man a little while longer. That gives me another idea.
So the fourth one must happen after we're dealing with Kraven, and then the 8th part is one right after we take her out and force her to kind of rethink things. Okay, we already did 9. So, did I already do 8? Yeah, okay, we did 8 already. We did 10, 9. So we can do the rest of the... I think Dylan is the rest of those for the most part. Okay, well anyway.
Mama was right. I didn't want to believe it, but it's true. They're all out to get me. The police, Oscorp, even Spider-Man. I thought he was my friend, but he hurt me, locked me up, and now they say I'm crazy. They want to put me in the dark and shut the door forever. Well, I won't let them. I'll find a way out, and when I do, I'll show them all. I'll trap all of them in the dark. Forever.
This must take place after the after you fight him, I think. Well, maybe. I'm not sure, because then he talks about Ravencroft in his 5th one, so I don't know. Maybe it's like right after.
I hate this place. They hook me up to machines and hurt me. Then they shut me away, ignore me. That Mr. Mencken is a terrible person. The things he's doing, not just to me, but to everyone in here, he needs to be punished. They all need to be punished. And they will be. They don't know. I'm getting stronger. A little bit more every day. And soon, I'll teach them a lesson.
By destroying the world. Of course.
There's a new guy in here. Cletus. He's not like me. He belongs here. He talks at night, tells everyone who can hear all the bad things he's done. I know him. He's what I always knew was hiding in the dark. I heard him screaming earlier, but it sounded like laughing. They're doing something to him. Are they stupid? Can't they see? Can't they see he likes it?
Yeah, Cletus. I don't know if Cletus was. They were trying to go with a. Multiple times they tried to go with a Joker type of character with a lot of. Well, I mean, not specifically. I mean, if anything, Green Goblin's probably the closest thing we have to a Spider-Man Joker, but still. Anyway.
I've got a secret. One of the Transformers is close to overloading. I can feel it. I know. They should know too, but they haven't noticed. The last time a technician came in, Mr. Mencken chased him out. I guess he thinks he's too important to waste time on maintenance. That's just fine with me. Because when that Transformer blows, they can't hold me anymore. And then they'll all be sorry.
Maybe this talk is about when he breaks out of jail after he gets caught by Spider-Man. Alright, let's see. Okay, let's finish up Wilson Fisk's thing.
Have all security personnel review the footage of Spider-Man's break-in. I want every method he used to gain entry to my office countered. New codes, impenetrable doors. He will never get in here uninvited again. Oh, and find me the finest encryption experts in the world to develop computer firewalls no one can breach. Explain to them that failure will mean termination of their business relationship with me, or anyone else.
Man, his anger must have gotten the best of him to have to change that at the last second.
Draft a speech. Our deepest sympathies are with the Osborn family and all affected by their mistakes. While my friend Harry Osborn is the victim of both physical and mental disease, and therefore not responsible for his actions, that does not mitigate the pain and suffering he caused. Perhaps Fisk Industries should purchase Oscorp and restore it to its former glory. I could bring some measure of peace to the greater Oscorp family, and ultimately to the entire city. It has been a long, dark night, but the dawn is breaking at last.
Oh, and I think Tinny laughs. And I think these take place like right after you beat him in his thing, but alright, let's finish off the Harry Osborn and Felicia. So this episode's gonna be a little longer than I expected.
The whole world's against me. Even the people who are supposed to protect me, to work for me, to be my friends. They all want me dead, so they can take what's mine. Well, that's not gonna happen, because I have a plan. I won't tell Mencken. Either he's in Fisk's pocket, or he's out to get me himself. I won't tell anyone. I'll just do it. And then, everyone who betrayed me is going to regret it.
And then I think the 8th one is when he takes the venom, and then we got 9.
It's
or
done.
About to, anyway.
I injected myself with Richard Parker's spider venom formula. At first, I thought it had gone wrong, horribly wrong. There was so much pain. But change is always painful, even when it's for the better. And I'm so much better now. Sure, there are some little hiccups, but a few nips and tucks, some drugs and needles, and a bone saw, and plenty of screaming. And everything will be better. Then I'll think about what to do to myself.
Man, in this game, they think, or at least maybe it's just Spider-Man villains in general, they think crazy all means the same type of crazy. You know there are other types of crazy, psychopaths, you know. Whatever.
It won't stop. The pain, the changes, they won't stop. Damn that Spider-Man. If he won't let me study him alive, I'll study him dead. I'll dissect him like a frog, find out what makes him stable, and do it to myself. Then I'll kill them all. Mencken, Fisk, that guy who looked at me funny on the elevator. People who don't turn off their cell phones at the movies. Maybe I'll replace Spider-Man. I'll be the amazing Goblin, the hero New York deserves.
Gotta work on your evil laugh there, dude. And a little spike there in the end. And this Felicia's not her final one, because I think I found that one earlier, but close to last final one.
I did it. Broke into Kingpin's office and hacked his files. Even after all the damage his fight with Spider-Man caused, his security was crazy. Definitely the hardest heist I've ever pulled. I don't know if there's anything here I can use. It's all encrypted. For all I know, it's just dirt on other people. But I've got time. I'll crack it. And then, I'll be the one in a position to make demands.
Apparently she was able to get his data before he did all that firewall stuff. So if they had done a third game, they probably would have, you know, mentioned her doing some other things. So, okay. So anyway, after that, you can actually filter the files if you wanted to play them specifically. Unfortunately, I played them out of order for you. Oh well. And I think the 10th one on Felicia's is, yeah, about what happened with the Goblin and getting out of there and all that. So I probably should have done that, or maybe wait to the end of the game to play all the audio, but oh well. Sorry about that. I just wanted to play what I found at the time, because I thought that had been a lot easier to deal with than trying to remember. And it doesn't let me organize them, by the way, in a numerical order, unfortunately, which is odd. But anyway, so that's it for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. All the audio clips, all the outfits, most of the secret Easter egg stuff that you can find. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it. So, all right, well, that's it. Nothing else to do. Time to send this game back. I guess I should have talked more about like what I felt about the game while I was playing it, but overall, I think the game is average out of 5. Had a lot of interesting concepts, like the costumes could have been implemented a lot better. The heroic and menace system, I think, could have been tweaked a bit, because at some point it just got really annoying to do the heroic missions just to lower the menace, and the menace stuff goes by way too, well, not way too quickly, but sometimes it just clicks multiple times so fast that you get to menace mode really quick.
There's one perk to being Spider-Man.
I know that
where all the best public bathrooms are.
I know that there's costumes you can wear to improve how much heroics you get, so that stems it a little bit better. But I don't know. I think they could have tweaked it slightly. But yeah, other than that, I would say send the game back. Definitely not worth it unless you're a really, really, really big fan of Spider-Man. And I prefer the first game over this one, just because the options of side quests and stuff like that outside of the main storyline. Thus, you got to interact with more other Spider-Man characters and villains. But oh well, what can you do? So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time when the mail comes in. See you later.